Hello everyone, it is great to see you here once again on Dee's Delights. Tonight we are going to make streusel topped pumpkin pie. I do like pumpkin pie, I like apple pie, I like pecan pie, I like just about any kind of pie. So this week you'll see a few different pie recipes. Tonight I'm going to use some homemade dough, or you can just use the Pillsbury pie crust. That's up to you, whatever you want. Either way will turn out good. So what you're going to need for this recipe is, of course, a 9-inch pie plate and a pie crust. For the filling, you're going to need 2 eggs beaten, 1/2 cup of granulated sugar, 1 can 16-ounce pumpkin, not the pumpkin pie mix. You're going to need the one that says 100% pure. I normally get Libby's. 1 12-ounce can of evaporated milk, and I usually get Carnation evaporated milk. 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon salt, 1/2 teaspoon ground ginger, and 1/8 teaspoon of ground cloves. I don't have any cloves, so I'm not going to worry about that. So what you want to do first is preheat your oven to 425 degrees and go ahead and line your pie plate. So in a large bowl, we're going to beat all of the filling ingredients together. You can either use a handheld mixer or a wire whisk. Now remember, I'm doubling everything, but on the screen you'll see the recipe for a single pie, but you will see me adding double. So for a single pie, you're going to need 2 eggs beaten. You'll need 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. You'll need 1 16-ounce can of pumpkin puree. I have a 29-ounce can. I don't know if the pumpkin puree normally comes in a 16 or a 15-ounce can, but this 29-ounce can will work fine for 2. So whatever you can find close to 16 ounces if you're making one pie. And then your 1 can of evaporated milk. And I had some of this I needed to use up too, else it was soon going to be out of date. So sometimes when you cook in the kitchen, it's a good way to get rid of outdated food before it's technically out of date. 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of ground ginger, and 1/8 teaspoon of ground cloves. And if you're making 2, that would be 1/4 teaspoon. So what I'm going to do is whisk this together. There again, handheld mixer, you can do that, but I'm a little lazy tonight. I don't feel like getting the handheld mixer out. By golly, I'm not gonna. Hey, by the way, thank you all for all the comments. I love them. You guys are so much fun. I have the best people. I do. You guys are a blast. I get jokes from you guys. I get uplifting comments. I just love you. Thank you so much. Keep them coming. Keep the comments coming. Gives me encouragement. Okay, I think I got everything well blended. This is such an easy pie to make. I'm sure you all have made it before, but normally I don't make it with the streusel topping. I thought that sounded kind of interesting. So I'm going to pour my mixture into the pie pans. I'm going to try to do this evenly. Alright, so I do have a little extra filling left because mine are just regular 9-inch pie plates. You might want to use a deep dish or maybe a 10-inch pie plate. That's up to you. I might see what I can do with this though. Come up with a little something. Alright, so what we need to do, first we'll bake it for 15 minutes for 425. I'm going to put it in the oven ever so carefully because I can see myself spilling this. Sometimes I can be a klutz, so this is, you know. So after we bake the pies for 15 minutes, we're going to reduce the heat to 350. It says if you're using the Pillsbury pie crust, at that point in time you might want to put a little foil around the edges of the crust so they don't get too brown. I'm using homemade pie crust, so I don't do it with the homemade, but you might want to with the Pillsbury. So once we reduce the temperature to 350 degrees, we'll bake it for another 35 minutes. Before we put our topping on, and then we'll bake it for another 10. So it's going to take a little while. Guess what? I had a little extra pie dough that I was going to toss out, but I found a little baby pie plate. So I'm going to make a little baby pumpkin pie. I'm excited. Now I probably will not have to bake this one as long, so we'll see. I hate to throw anything out. I remember when I was a kid, I remember your parents saying, make sure you clean your plate. There's starving kids in Africa. You know, we are a spoiled people and we should be cautious of what we throw out. Because I know I waste a lot of food. So I've been trying to be more conscious of that lately to make sure that I try to use up some of that stuff. Even if it's just to freeze it, give it away. Now, I do give my parents a lot of food, but Doug said I was not allowed to give them any of the chicken pot pie. He's such a turd. He loves chicken pot pie. So I did use some of this pie crust that I had to make some chicken pot pie. Look at that. Look at that. No waste here. This will be a perfect pie to give to my mom and dad. Well, the pie is almost ready to put the topping on, so let's go ahead and mix that up. Now I'm actually going to triple this since I ended up getting a little baby pie. So for you guys, you'll use 1/2 cup of quick cooking oats, the quick ones, not the old-fashioned. You'll use 1/2 cup of packed brown sugar and 1/4 cup of softened butter. Make sure your butter is softened. You don't want it melted, but you do want it softened. So go ahead and mix that around. Once you've mixed this together, go ahead and just crumble it up with a fork. All right, I'm going to break this up a little bit. Sprinkle this on top. Now, I love this crumbly stuff. I just love it. You know, brown sugar and butter. Who could ask for anything more? All right, ready to go back into the oven for at least 10 minutes. To make sure that it's done, just test it with a knife. If it pulls out clean, it's baked the whole way through. I left mine baked for another 15 minutes. So what we're going to do now is we're going to let this cool for about 2 hours. Then I'm going to store it in the fridge for about 4 hours before we serve it. So I'll probably eat this tomorrow and share the results with you, but you know what? It's pumpkin pie with brown sugar and butter and all that good stuff on it, so it has to be good. So I'll see you tomorrow, and I'll probably have this for lunch, or if I'm too impatient, I'll have it for breakfast in the morning. So I'll be back soon. So I'm going to cut a piece out of here, and I'm going to make it a small piece. Now don't judge, but I've already had a piece for breakfast, but I brushed my teeth right before I ate. Couldn't tell what I was eating. So I'm going to do this again, so a little teeny baby piece. Then I'm going to wrap some pieces up in some freeze wrap, put them in a airtight container, freeze them. They'll be good in the freezer for up to a month. Okay, so here's a baby piece, and actually I calculated this out. If you have 8 pieces, it's only about 380 calories. One good thing is we use the evaporated milk instead of heavy cream, which saves a buttload of calories. Okay, I'm also going to try it without the Cool Whip and with the Cool Whip. And I'm going to take some to my parents and to my co-worker, and I shall pack handy dandy little tubs of Cool Whip to take with me so that they too can enjoy Cool Whip on their pie. We just put a little bit on the side here. You can also serve this a la mode. You can add some different seasonings if you want a little nutmeg in there, a little pumpkin spice. But first I'm going to try it without the Cool Whip. Tell you what, that crispy topping, that makes this pie, because other than that it's just a plain old pumpkin pie. Oh my Lord. So much better this time around without having the flavor of toothpaste in my mouth. Now with the Cool Whip, there you have it. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. Easy. Just let it sit in the fridge overnight. Very good. So I hope you enjoy your streusel topped pumpkin pie. Just adds a little twist to the old favorite. So have a great day everyone, and I hope to see you real soon.